כן, בשנה שעברה לקהילה שלי שמונה 1,700 משפחות, בית הכנסת הקונסרבטיבי המסורתי הגדול בניו יורק, הייתה הזכות לארח את חבר הכנסת יאיר לפיד, בשנה קודם לכן את נשיא המדינה מאז מר שמעון פרס, זיכרונו לברכה, בנאומו האחרון מיהדות התפוצות. אני עמל יום ולילה ללא לאות על יצירת קהילה יהודית חיה, תוססת, מחויבת ומלאת רגש, במרכזה החיבור לישראל. לימוד על ישראל, תמיכה בישראל, ביקורים בישראל. רק אתמול סיימנו ביקור של 70 חברי קהילה, עלייה לארץ, יצירת מנגנון של הסברה על ישראל, והכי חשוב, אהבת ישראל. כל אלה לא רק מרכיבים את המהות של בית הכנסת שלי, אלא מרכיבים את המהות של הזהות שלי בתורה ובתור יהודי. Our problem, ואני מבקש התנצלות על האנגלית, our problem, however, is that far too often, for far too many American Jews, we're left to wonder whether Israel loves us as much as we love Israel. We see an Israel that doesn't recognize the Judaism we practice, an Israel that doesn't recognize marriages or conversions of American rabbis, an Israel that's allowed the symbol of Jewish unity, the Kotel, to become ground zero for fanaticism and intolerance. An Israel that funds hundreds of millions of shkalim to Orthodox institutions and none to non-Orthodox expressions of Jewish life. An Israel in which conservative and reform synagogues have been subjected to vandalism. An Israel that's entertaining legislation that would criminalize a woman wearing a talit. The irony, the bitter irony of a world in which Israel is the one country in which a Jew does not have the freedom to express his or her Judaism. With every piece of legislation that Israel declares itself hostile to religious pluralism, hostile to the Judaism we practice in the States, is it at all surprising that American Jews should find themselves increasingly alienated from the Jewish state? As a conservative rabbi and as an American Jew, I find the situation deeply distressing. But as I said, it's not my problem, it's our problem. It's a crisis we share together. The vast majority of American Jews, as we heard, are conservative or reform. 50% of American Jews who attend the AIPAC conference are conservative. More than 60% of the leadership of the Jewish Federation are conservative Jews. In other words, the American Jews who are most engaged with Israel, Israel's strongest advocates in the halls of Congress and on the world stage, are being told explicitly that neither they nor their children or grandchildren are viewed as legitimate by the very country they so bravely support. It should not be lost on any of us that today's caucus is taking place in the shadow of very worrisome developments at the UN. It would be a mistake to attribute the news of last week's UN resolution solely to the behavior of an outgoing American president, to differences of policy or personality between the Obama and Netanyahu administrations. When future historians look back at this moment, the gap they will discuss will not just be the one between America and Israel, but between American Jewry and Israel. I do believe that somewhere in all of the political calculations, the American administration understood that a gap exists between the vast majority of American Jewry and the actions of Israel. American Jews are not citizens of Israel. It's not our place to tell Israelis how to govern their country. But there is a moment in which we are living through right now, that American Jewry's historic, reflexive support of Israel will no longer be a given. An American Jewry that isn't able to reconcile the dream of Israel as a liberal democracy and watch the death of the two-state solution. An American Jewry that is unable or unwilling to defend Israeli actions in the court of world or campus opinion. God help the person who criticizes a member of my family whom I love and loves me unconditionally. But for someone whose love for me is in question, well, that person, or in this case, that country, will have to learn to fend for themselves. Now is the time for Israel and American Jewry to work together, taking substantive and symbolic steps to heal our relationship. As we near the one-year mark since the Kotel Agreement, now is the time to show leadership, courage, and determination to make sure the decision of the Israeli government is brought to completion. on funding, on marriage, on personal status, mikvaot, and especially conversions, any and every step towards cultivating a sense of arevut, of shared destiny, will send a powerful message. It's a contradiction of Israel's most basic premise and promise to allow Jewish identity be defined by the most extreme segment of Israeli society. It is insulting to American Jewry when Israel's bold initiative, Mosaic, to bolster Jewish identity in the diaspora is overseen by an education ministry that opposes the recognition of Reform and conservative Judaism. Seeds must be planted. If Israel is truly interested in the future of world Jewry, now is the time to include an understanding of all religious streams in Israeli curriculum, to build bridges between Israeli and diaspora Jews, in mifgashim and Mechina programs, visits by MKs, mayors, and thought leaders to Reform and conservative congregations. The dialogue between Israel and the diaspora must be inclusive, collaborative, transparent, and done in a spirit of cooperation and the pursuit of the collective welfare of the Jewish people. As Jews, we're defined by our ability to see the world through the eyes of another and act accordingly. Ethically, in the words of Hillel, that which is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow. As a people, it's the ability to see a Jew elsewhere in the world and say, Ata yecholta liot ani, v'ani yecholti liot ata. I could be you, and you could be me. The relationship between American Jewry and Israel will heal when and only when we begin to act upon the mutual obligations that come with Ahavat Yisrael. Like two strings on a violin, American Jewry and Israel, though separated by distance, when touched by a bow, can make a beautiful sound together. Am echad, im lev echad, in dialogue and partnership, passionate stakeholders in a shared destiny.
הרב אליוט, תודה. אני מודה לך גם על זה שאני כפוליטיקאי לא היה לי את האומץ לחבר את מה שקרה לפני 4 ימים להסתכלות שלנו על יהדות התפוצות, ואתה עשית את זה לצערי בכאב גדול כל כך. תודה.